Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. If you want your daily dose of Reddit stories that aren't accompanied by a robot voice, then now's the time to subscribe and click on notifications. In our first story, a choosing beggar tries to cheat a videographer. Okay, have fun explaining to your client why his 2-year-old video is now missing all these clips. Let's jump right in. So some backstory. 2 years ago, this guy at a large advertising agency in town tried to get 79 time-lapse shots that I spent a year and a half creating for free. Note, this is a large ad agency in the town I live in. He should know a rough cost for these shots. He initially tried to justify getting these shots for free because I would be increasing my taxes since the city would ultimately be paying for them. He wanted them re-rendered without a watermark and offered to pay me $200 for about 40 hours worth of work and render time. Obviously, I turned that offer down. Later, we agreed upon a heavily discounted price for the 20 shots he actually wanted. At this point, I no longer trust anything this client says. So the advertising agency emails me saying they are renewing a song license for a video they made for their client, and the agency asks me if they need to renew these time-lapse shots since I didn't specify the length of the license in the invoice. I ignore the email for the first few days because my contact over at the agency is a pain to deal with. He emails me again and says, "Hey, just making sure we are good and don't need to pay any extra to keep these time-lapse shots on the video." I respond and tell him, "No, per your email 2 years ago on this date, you said this was for a 2-year license, so if you want to renew all 20 of these shots, it'll be $2,000 just like before. This is a heavily reduced price since it was originally supposed to be an internal video." He responds with, "No, we made a shorter version of the video and only used 10 shots, so it should be $1,000, right?" I said, "Yes, if you only use 10 shots, it would be $1,000. Just send over a screenshot of what shots you used or a copy of the video and I'll list out the names of the shots on the invoice and give you a license for another 2 years." My contact at the agency sent me their video and I saw they used 13 shots. Fast forward one last time to today. "Hey, hope you had a good holiday, just trying to wrap this renewal up. I think these terms are much more agreeable." "Yeah, they are much more agreeable for you, not me." "I'm just trying to get you paid. Don't you want $1,000? "Actually, I'm not interested anymore. Please remove all of the time-lapse shots in question from the video." "You're going to turn this down over $300? "Yep, I'm tired of dealing with this. You've tried to get something for nothing from the start of the project, and you told me you want to renew 10 shots. Then when you sent the video over so I could name the shots for the renewal, there were 13 shots in the video." "I don't understand." "That's okay, you don't have to. Have a nice day." And the client hung up. That conversation was paraphrased. I'm sure if the client was asked, I would be made out to be unreasonable. Geez, I'm usually pretty happy to negotiate, but when you ask me to render out 79 time-lapse shots without a watermark for free, then when I give you a heavy discount for the shots you actually want to use and follow up with an email claiming I didn't give you a discount, and finally decide to make up your own price when it comes time to renew the license just because you think you can push people around, yeah, that's not going to happen. I didn't turn down the renewal over $300, the client did. It'll be nice to never hear from them again. I'm sure I'll have questions as to why I'm trying to charge so much. Each time-lapse shot takes between 15 minutes for the shortest shot and 6 hours for the longest shot. Sometimes I'll go out to shoot and once I render the shot, I'll realize there was something that didn't happen, like a drawbridge never cycled, so I'll have to shoot it again another night. Each time I go out, I probably bring at least $8,000 worth of camera gear with me. The computer with software required to render each shot cost at least $4,500. Also, add in the cost of having a car, gas, insurance, and paying me enough to be able to make these shots, you start to see that it's not particularly cheap to make this stuff. Here's an update. The president of the ad agency called me up today and was very polite. The president offered me more than I originally requested, but I turned down the higher offer and agreed upon the original price. The president said they will speak with the employee, and I have a new level of respect for the agency. Story number 2 shows us a choosing beggar couple who wants their fries hot, really hot. Even straight out of the fryer isn't good enough. Hello Reddit, thank you for taking the time to read this over. Just thought it was a funny story to post on here. Anyway, let's get started. Cast is me, a lady choosing beggar, a guy choosing beggar, a cool coworker, a second cool coworker, and my cool manager. So last summer, I was working at a summer job in a fast food restaurant when I came home from school. I was quickly getting adapted into the new environment as I was picking up how to do everything. My advisor did a great job about telling me what and what not to do, so props to him. Now let's get to the juicy stuff. I was at about the halfway point from when my job started to when I needed to go back to school. I was working at the register with my cool coworker, and we were having a cool conversation about what we did over the summer and what we were planning on doing in the future, as it was around 3 p.m. and the place was dead at the time. Enter the choosing beggar couple. They were both seniors, boomers, around their 60s. I take their order, which was our most expensive combo. They take their seat at the corner of the restaurant, and the food gets out pretty quickly. After a little while, I ask them how their food is, and this is the response I get. How was your food tasting this afternoon? It's actually a bit cold. Is there a possibility that you can remake it? Of course, just give us a few minutes. I politely take their plate back and ask if I can get a fresh order because their food was too cold. My second coworker and my manager nodded in agreement. I told the choosing beggar couple that their food would be out shortly. A few minutes later, I give the food back to her. Keep in mind, the food is fresh from the fryers and cooked properly to our company's standards. I was signaled back again. Do you mind if we speak to your manager? I was a bit confused. Sure, I'll bring him right up. I go back and ask my manager to see the choosing beggar couple. My manager told me this is how it went down. This food is still cold. Is there any way you can remake it again and we keep this? I'm sorry it came out cold, but we can give you a new plate straight from the fryer. If it comes out cold again, we will leave a bad review, so no one wants to go there. The only problem was that we were the best fast food restaurant in that city and get a lot of customers daily. So we decided to make another order, at this point we were wasting food, and give them their food straight from the fryers again. My manager hands it to them as my coworker and I watch. They motion for my manager to come back again. Excuse me, is this hot food? Because it sure doesn't look like it. There was steam coming up from the plate. Yes, it is. I cooked it and made it fresh from our fryers. The choosing beggar lady points at the coleslaw. Then why is this cold? Because it is supposed to be cold. Choosing beggar lady strongly insists, can you make a new one? This food got cold. My two coworkers and I were laughing at this point. No, we cannot. In fact, we gave you 2 meals for free, and yet you complain that it is cold when it is straight out of the fryers. The choosing beggar guy jumps in on the conversation. I'm giving this place 1 star on Yelp. You should be fired for such absurd actions. The choosing beggar couple gets up to leave, though they do get boxes so they can have all the free food. As soon as they leave, I say, "You're welcome," and they give me a nasty stare. My cool manager bought me some food to take home to enjoy, and I very much did after my shift was over. My manager and my 2 coworkers and I joked about it through the summer, and I met them again over my Thanksgiving break. I never thought that these people actually existed, but I am glad that I finally have a story that I can share with you. In our final story, a choosing beggar gets a free $30 meal, but that isn't enough for this guy. Yesterday, I was eating with a friend on the patio of a burger joint. An older man came up to us and asked us for money to pay for his hotel room and let us know he had 2 kids. I said I couldn't pay for his hotel room, but I could offer him a meal to take home from this burger joint. He said with a shrug, "Well, I guess anything would help." He started asking me what they had, so I went to get a menu and let the manager know what I was doing, that I had already agreed to buy him a meal and that he didn't ask me for one, so he wouldn't get in trouble for hassling their patrons. The manager came and spoke firmly with him anyway. Apparently, this guy frequently hassles their patio diners. Anyway, I came back out with the waitress to get his order, and he gets the largest order of wings on the menu. No big deal. A meal is a meal, and he looks hungry. I asked him if he also would like a drink, and he says, "Oh, and an order of them onion rings." I nod at the waitress, sure, onion rings too, but I'm starting to get a little annoyed at this guy taking advantage of my offer. I ask him again if he'd like a drink, and he says, "A large, Coke." I was like, whew, let that annoyance go. This is a small thing to offer a man. While we're waiting, he asks 3 more times for me to pay for his hotel, offering me the hotel's phone number so I can pay the bill over the phone with my credit card. I tell him 3 times, "No, I won't do that, I'm sorry." The waitress brings the drink back and he takes it without a word and walks off, tossing the straw paper on the ground. "I'll be back later to pick up those wings." He did come back with another man and walked him up to me and says, "This is the lady that paid for our wings." The other guy says, "Can I get some wings, a large French fries, and a Coke?" I just said, "I'm sorry, but I've already closed out. You'll have to share your friend's order." The second guy got mad, but they walked off when the manager came back out to pass off the food. I don't know if he was a choosing beggar or maybe just a greedy beggar. His meal cost me about $30 on top of my own, which doesn't seem like much, but when you save up money so you can eat out once in a while, $30 is a pretty big chunk of money to spend on a donation. It rubbed me the wrong way that he got something big, added to it, littered, never said thanks to the waitress, not even to me, and brought a buddy over to, I guess, get an easy score rather than sharing his loot. And he didn't consider that his children might like to eat something too. I don't care if they weren't real. Maybe I'm just being overly sensitive and kind of bitchy about this, but I think interactions like this make people less likely to help out someone the next time. This has been John from /Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more of them, then please hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.